Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're not just listing business ideas for 2025, we're really trying to get under the hood, looking at what makes them work, maybe some hidden potential angles you might not have thought about. Think of this as your quick download on what's likely coming next in the venture world.
Exactly. It's about getting that edge, right? Understanding where things are actually heading. We've looked at a whole range of concepts. Some are techie, some focus on sustainability, others more on community needs. So yeah, there should definitely be something here that catches your interest, whatever you're focused on right now.
Yeah, our mission is really to pull out the most, let's say, promising and genuinely fresh ideas for 2025 from everything we've reviewed. Okay, so let's jump in. First up, virtual interior design services. Seems very plugged into how we live now.
Well, what's interesting isn't just that remote work is, sticking around. We sort of know that. It's more that people have spent, years now looking at the same walls. The initial novelty is gone. Now it's about making those spaces genuinely work long-term, make them, enjoyable.
Right, but hiring a traditional designer, the cost, the hassle, that's still a blocker for lots of people. This virtual model kind of clips that, doesn't it? Offering design advice remotely, clients send photos, measurements. You guide them using tools like Canva Pro, maybe SketchUp, Foyer.
Exactly. And think about the tech angle. Augmented reality, for instance. It's not just a gimmick. Imagine your client holding up their phone, seeing that sofa in their room virtually. That's way more powerful than just looking at a picture online. It connects advice directly to a potential purchase, maybe through a partnership.
Okay, and that's where the business side gets interesting too. Revenue streams. It's not just flat fees or hourly rates, right?
Yeah.
You could do curated shopping lists with affiliate links, so you're not just advising, you're facilitating the whole thing. But what's the catch? How do you build that trust without being physically there?
That's a really good question. Formal design degrees aren't always the main thing, surprisingly. What you do need is a killer portfolio. Visuals are everything. Before and afters, maybe virtual walkthroughs, and testimonials, of course. You have to show you know your stuff, design-wise and tech-wise. Smooth calls, clear mock-ups, that kind of thing. Builds confidence.
Okay, moving on. Let's dig into another area where one size fits all just doesn't cut it anymore. Education. Specifically, AI-powered personalized learning platforms.
Yeah, the shift here is huge. We understand much more now about how people learn differently at different speeds. We're moving past this idea that everyone learns the same way. So there's a real hunger for, tailored experiences. Some studies show personalized learning really boosts outcomes engagement. That makes sense.
Totally. So picture an AI platform that's not just dumping content, but actually watching how you interact. It sees where you're struggling, maybe with math, maybe learning French, and adjusts the lesson right then. That kind of dynamic support could be, game-changing. What tech makes this actually doable now?
It's a mix of things, really. You've got GPT-style APIs for creating and adapting content. Voice recognition is getting so good, great for interactive exercises, and gamification elements to keep people hooked. But look, the general learning market is pretty packed. How does a new player find space?
Yeah, good point. That's where niching down comes in, right? Instead of trying to teach everything, focus. Maybe AI tutoring for neurodivergent learners, or language learning for very specific dialects, not just standard French or Spanish. That focus lets you get really good at serving a specific group. And how do you make money from it?
Various ways. Subscriptions are obvious for individuals, freemium models maybe, basic access free, pay for advanced stuff. Or you could license the whole platform to schools, companies for training. The key is proving it works. Showing clear learning improvements justifies the cost.
Okay, switching gears a bit. Something more tangible, but with a strong ethical side. Sustainable subscription boxes.
What's powerful here is how sustainability has shifted. It's not just a nice-to-have trend anymore. For a lot of consumers, especially younger ones, it's like a fundamental value. They actively seek out eco-conscious brands, and the data shows people are often willing to pay a bit more for something genuinely sustainable.
So the idea is simple. A box arrives each month with, say, zero-waste stuff. Reusable food bags, bamboo toothbrushes, solid shampoo bars, practical swaps.
But there are quite a few eco-boxes now. How do you make yours the one people choose?
It's all in the curation and the story. It's not just what's in the box, it's where it came from. Who made it? What's the real impact? Highlighting those details, the makers, their practices, that builds a connection, adds value beyond just the product itself. What else can you do to build loyalty?
Maybe add digital content. like guides on reducing waste further, or recipes using zero-waste ingredients. Perhaps access to a little community forum for subscribers.
Yeah.
Makes it more of a lifestyle thing, not just products. Who's really the target for this? Mostly millennials and Gen Z, yeah. They're generally more tuned into environmental issues and look for brands that align with that. And again, niching could work well. Maybe a box for students trying to be sustainable in a dorm, or busy parents.
Yeah.
Even travel-size sustainable items. That focus helps build that recurring revenue stream.
All right, let's talk about teams, specifically the needs of remote teams, remote work retreat planning.
Yeah, remote work is great for flexibility, but it can definitely lead to feeling disconnected, can't it? You lose those spontaneous chats, the easy brainstorming. Companies are seeing they need dedicated time for people to reconnect in person, to kind of rebuild those team bonds and, frankly, collaborate better.
So that's the gap this idea fills, a service that plans everything for a multi-day team offsite. Finding the location, maybe somewhere in nature, maybe a cool city spot, handling all the logistics, creating an environment where teams can both work and, actually bond. What might they do on these retreats?
Well, loads of things. Depends on the goal. Could be structured team building stuff with facilitators, workshops on strategy or skills, but also just, yoga, hiking, nice meals together, things that build camaraderie. It's about getting the balance right. What's the big sell to companies?
It's the hassle factor, isn't it? Taking all that planning off their plate, finding venues, booking travel, sorting activities, managing it all on site. That's a lot of work. So it's presented as an investment in morale, productivity, company culture. How do you prove it's worth the cost, though?
Showing the return is key. You need solid case studies, documented examples of successful retreats, maybe highlighting improved communication afterwards or specific projects that came out of it, and testimonials are goal here. Word of mouth will be huge for a high-value service like this.
Okay, let's pivot again. Something super local, hyper-local delivery for specialty goods.
Yeah, there's definitely a growing appetite for supporting local makers, isn't there? People want authentic, handcrafted stuff. They value the story, the quality, and often, they'll pay a bit more for something made just around the corner.
So imagine a delivery service that's really fast, like under an hour, but just for those special local items. Think small batch kombucha, artisan bread that's still warm, maybe handmade dog treats from a local pet bakery. How would you even get that started without needing, a fleet of vans?
That's the neat part.
Yeah.
You can start really lean. A bike, maybe a scooter. Focus on a small neighborhood first. Partner with just a few great local vendors. Build those relationships. Keep the overhead super low initially. How do you let people know about it? And find the vendors.
Social media feels like the obvious answer there. Instagram, probably. Showcase the vendors, tell their stories, make the products look amazing, build a community feel around shopping local, and emphasize the speed, the convenience. How could it grow from just, you on a bike?
Well, if it takes off, maybe a simple app for ordering. Makes it easier for customers. You can also offer, say, monthly memberships, maybe free delivery or discounts for subscribers. That builds loyalty and predictable income.
Right. Let's shift to wellness, but specifically digital wellness coaching, addressing the screen time issue.
It's a real thing, isn't it? The constant notifications, the pressure to be online.
Yeah.
It's impacting well-being. We're seeing more stress, sleep problems, burnout, all linked to our tech habits. So people are starting to realize they need strategies to manage it better, find some balance.
Exactly. So this coach helps people build a healthier relationship with their devices. Could be about setting screen time boundaries, creating phone-free zones at home, maybe developing mindful tech routines, even doing a proper digital declutter or a full detox. How would this coaching actually happen?
Lots of ways. One-on-one calls for really personalized stuff, group sessions maybe for shared learning. You could create online courses people do at their own pace, or downloadable guides, checklists, lots of formats. Who's best suited to offer this? Someone with a therapy background.
Could be coaches, therapists, wellness pros, yeah. But maybe even someone who's just really figured it out for themselves, someone passionate about productivity and helping others manage the digital overload. Who needs this help most?
It's pretty broad, actually. Busy professionals drowning in emails, students trying to focus, parents worried about their kids' screen time, anyone feeling overwhelmed by tech, really.
Okay, now for the creators out there. Custom AI voiceovers and jingles.
Yeah, the creator economy is just massive, isn't it? Podcasters, YouTubers, course creators, everyone needs content, and good audio makes a huge difference. but it can be tricky or expensive to produce professionally.
So imagine using these new AI voice tools ethically, of course, combined with some actual human editing, to create custom voiceovers, catchy little jingles, sound effects, basically offering an affordable, fast audio solution. What kind of specific things could you offer?
Podcast intros and outros are a big one. Unique character voices for animations or games. Professional voiceovers for explainer videos. You could even do full branded audio packages, music, mixing, the works. What AI tools were we talking about here?
Things like Descript, 11 Labs, Murph. They're getting pretty sophisticated. The voices sound quite realistic now. How would you actually sell this service? Where do creators look for this stuff?
Freelance sites are a good start, like Fiverr or Upwork. Build up some reviews there, but also direct outreach. Find relevant creator communities online, forums, Facebook groups, and offer your services. Package deals could work well, like Podcast Starter Kit, or even subscriptions for ongoing needs. Scalable, potentially high margin.
Interesting. Okay, let's think about language learning, but with a twist. Localized language learning platforms.
Right, because most of the big apps, Duolingo and the like, they focus on major global languages, don't they? Spanish, French, German.
Yeah.
But what if you want to learn, say, a specific regional dialect or an indigenous language? There's a huge gap there. Thousands of languages exist that aren't covered well by mainstream tools, and many are in danger.
So the opportunity is to build platforms, apps, maybe online courses specifically for these less common languages, maybe Tamil for kids in the diaspora trying to connect with their heritage, or Basque for someone planning a trip, or maybe Inuktitut for indigenous youth wanting to reclaim their language. How do you even create content for languages that might not have many resources?
Yeah, that's the challenge. It often means working really closely with native speakers, with cultural groups in those communities. Funding might come from grants aimed at language preservation, maybe partnerships with cultural institutions. Even crowdfunding could work, tapping into that community desire. It's often more than just a business, it feels like a mission too.
Definitely. Okay, for the more hands-on techie folks, smart home consulting and installation.
Smart home gadgets are getting cheaper.
Yeah.
But making it all work together smoothly, that's still tricky for a lot of people. They like the idea of a smart home, but the setup, the integration, it's daunting.
So there's a need for someone who can actually help guide people through it, from figuring out what they need, smart lights, thermostat security, to recommending products, installing them, setting it all up, and maybe even ongoing support. What are the main things people want help with?
Lighting is huge for ambiance and energy saving. Voice assistants, Alexa, Google Home controlling everything. Smart thermostats, locks, cameras. Security is a big driver. Energy efficiency is another angle. Who's the typical customer? Is it just tech enthusiasts?
Not necessarily. Could be people who just aren't comfortable with DIY tech. Older folks who like the convenience but need help setting it up. New homeowners who want to outfit the whole place. How do you keep the business going beyond the initial setup?
Upselling opportunities. Offer ongoing maintenance checks, software updates, bundle in new products as they come out. And partnerships could be key, like with real estate agents, reaching new buyers right away.
Okay, let's talk food, but on a small scale. Urban farming and microgreens delivery.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can grow indoors now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hydroponics, vertical setups. You don't need a huge amount of space. And microgreens as little nutrient-packed baby greens are super popular with restaurants, cafes, health-conscious folks.
So you could set up a small indoor farm, maybe even in your basement or a spare room. Grow different microgreens, herbs, maybe edible flowers, and then deliver them fresh, maybe weekly. How would you package and sell that?
Weekly subscription boxes seem like a good model. A curated mix of what's freshest. You'd want to educate customers too. Recipes, health benefits, add value beyond just the greens. What else could you offer?
Maybe DIY microgreen growing kits for people who want to try it themselves.
It taps into that whole local food, know where your food comes from trend. Plus, it's pretty sustainable and could scale up gradually.
Okay, next up, a really important service for a group that's sometimes overlooked technologically. Senior tech help.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that while many seniors want to use technology, it can be really intimidating or confusing. There's a genuine need for patient, friendly support that's tailored specifically to them. Absolutely. Imagine a service offering help either in their home or maybe virtually. Things like learning how to use Zoom or FaceTime to connect with grandkids, setting up email, organizing digital photos, just navigating websites safely. What are the really crucial skills to teach?
Using iPads or smartphones confidently is a big one. Understanding online safety, how to spot scams. accessing things like online banking or health portals securely. Basic stuff for many, but essential skills to learn. It sounds like potentially very rewarding work, too.
Oh, incredibly. The gratitude you get from seniors and their families is often immense. They really appreciate regaining that independence or connection. That leads to fantastic word-of-mouth referrals. How would you grow that kind of business?
You could eventually hire and train others who are patient and good with tech, maybe expand your area. Partnering with senior living facilities or community centers could also be a great way to find clients.
Right, let's switch to the creative side again. AI art for licensing and branding.
Yeah, these AI image tools like Midjourney, DLLE, they're powerful. You can generate really unique visuals without traditional art skills. Suddenly, creating original artwork is much more accessible.
And that opens up a business model.
Right.
Create compelling images using AI, then license them out. Businesses could use them for branding, website graphics, social media, product packaging, even NFTs or album covers. Where would you actually sell this AI-generated art?
Online stock photo sites are starting to accept it. Creative Market, maybe Adobe Stock, Artlist, or you could build your own dedicated online shop. Gives you more control. So you don't need to be an artist, but what do you need?
A good eye, definitely. Taste. An understanding of visual trends, and skill in prompt engineering, knowing how to ask the AI for what you want. Plus some editing skills to refine the output. It's a different kind of creativity.
Okay, let's talk about memory preservation, but taking it beyond the standard photo album. Personalized memory and storytelling books.
Yeah, even with everything digital, people still crave tangible ways to hold on to important memories, right? Something more meaningful, more narrative than just scrolling through photos on a phone.
So this service is about creating these really beautiful custom books. You'd maybe interview the client, gather their stories, weave them together with photos, maybe even QR codes linking to audio clips, then get it professionally designed and printed as a hardcover keepsake. What occasions would this be perfect for?
Oh, weddings, big anniversaries, retirements. Capturing a family history is a legacy gift. Milestones where you really want to preserve the stories and emotions. What tools would help make this happen?
AI transcription could speed up the interview part. You might work with freelance designers for the layout, partner with a good print-on-demand service, or if you have the skills, you could potentially do it all solo.
It feels like really meaningful work, and probably something people would pay a premium for, given the personal value.
Definitely. Okay, shifting to a consistently strong market, pets. Pet product subscription boxes.
Oh yeah, people love their pets. They're part of the family for so many. And spending on pets stays pretty strong, even when the economy is shaky. Owners want good quality stuff for them.
So the idea is a curated box delivered regularly. Treats, toys, maybe grooming products, fun accessories. Could even do special birthday boxes or holiday themes. But again, it's a busy market. How do you stand out?
Niching down seems smart here too. Maybe a box just for hypoallergenic dogs. Or cats on special diets. Boxes for small pets like guinea pigs or rabbits, they're often underserved. What about making it feel special?
Adding a personal touch could be great, like a little handwritten note from the pet each month, or having a fun theme connecting all the products. People get really attached to these boxes for their pets. Loyalty can be high.
Yeah, the churn rate is often lower than in other subscription markets. Okay, finally, let's look at the influencer world, but with an ethical lens. Ethical influencer talent management.
Right, because influencer marketing has grown up a bit, hasn't it? And with that comes more scrutiny. Concerns about authenticity, transparency. Are people just shilling products they don't care about?
Exactly. So there's an opening for a talent agency that deliberately focuses on, say, micro-influencers, the ones with smaller but really engaged, trusting audiences. And the agency helps them navigate brand deals ethically, helps them get fair rates, review contracts, make sure disclosures are clear.
Yeah.
How is that different from a standard agency?
It's less about just chasing the biggest follower counts, more about the quality of the influencer and their relationship with their audience. The agency acts almost like a mentor, too, helping creators build a sustainable, values-driven career. Why would brands prefer this?
Brands are getting savvier, too. They want genuine connection, not just eyeballs. Partnering with an ethical micro-influencer, sourced through a trusted agency, can feel more authentic and drive better results sometimes. Building that reputation for ethics becomes the agency's unique selling point.
Wow, okay. That's 15 pretty diverse and fascinating business ideas for 2025. We've covered a lot of ground. From tech and AI to sustainability, local services, creative ventures. Hopefully something in there sparked an idea for you.
It's been really interesting to see how these trends, tech, sustainability, community focus, are weaving together to create these opportunities. Whether you're drawn to the digital side, tangible products, creative work, or helping people directly, there seems to be a lot of potential out there looking towards 2025.
So take a moment, maybe reflect on which of those really caught your attention. If you did feel that little spark, that entrepreneurial nudge, maybe start exploring it a bit. You don't need all the answers now. Just start small, research, see where it leads. The future's being built right now.
Yeah, and maybe the final thought is this. Think about your own unique skills and passions. How could you put your spin on one of these emerging trends? Because that intersection where what you love doing meets a real need out there, that's often where the magic happens.